the details of the difficult 22-chapter book.
Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of Ask Me Anything. If you're watching this right now, it's because you're a part of this ministry with us.
All right, welcome back to Cultish, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeremiah Roberts, one of the co-hosts here.
The way in which we are to reason with the unbeliever in the following ways. Number one, we want to demonstrate ignorance in the unbeliever, okay? Number two, we want to highlight the fact that, like the scripture says, the unbeliever knows God. And then thirdly, Dr. Bonson suggests that we demand total philosophical renovation, an entire worldview shift and change as we call the unbeliever to repentance. And of course, this is going to be the work of proclaiming the truth along with the power of the Spirit working in the hearts of the individual. But we call for an entire worldview change, so to speak.
The church is filled throughout our history, with Jews and Gentiles who believe in Jesus, and they are the true Israel.
Loving your wife as Christ loved the church means you pour into her by pouring over her the truth of God's word.
You have to come and take up your cross and die, or don't come. That's how Jesus says it. And then everyone leaves.
I think there can be masculinity in like a female and a man.
I would say to this that masculinity is something that is both caught and taught, right? There are biological realities built into the world. There's differences between the sexes and that these are good. But then I would also say that there is a guiding vision and ethical system that determines whether masculinity exercised will be virtuous or destructive.
What's important to note, just from a biblical perspective, when you listen to Andrew Tate's description of the Christian faith, his understanding of the Christian faith, you really begin to understand that Andrew Tate never was a Christian.
For most people, their finances aren't one big problem. It's 100 small ones. A retirement account from a job 5 years ago. A budget that lives in your head, but never on paper. Life insurance that you meant to look into. A will half finished or not even started. And the longer you leave those loose ends untied, the harder it becomes to move forward with peace of mind. At Dominion Wealth, we walk with you step by step to help you tie it all together. We meet you where you are. We listen. We get your financial picture out of your head and into practice. Then we build a strategy to meet your needs now, prepare for your future, and bless the next generation. We don't pressure you. We give biblical, honest guidance. Let the strategy follow your values and help find the right solutions. If your financial path feels uncertain, let's get together one-on-one and get you on the right track. Book a free consultation today. We are here to help you get your finances in order so you can feel confident about the future. From baptism to burial, Dominion's got you covered. You can find us at reform.money.
Non-rockabotus must stop. I don't want to rock the boat. I want to sink it.
Are you going to bark all day, little doggy, or are you going to bite?
Brett, delusional is okay in your worldview. I'm an animal. You don't chastise chickens for being delusional. You don't chastise pigs for being delusional. So you calling me delusional using your worldview is perfectly okay. It doesn't really hurt. She hung up on me.
What?
Desperate times call for faithful men and not for careful men. The careful men come later and write the biographies of the faithful men, lauding them for their courage.
Go into all the world and make disciples. Not go into the world and make buddies. Not to make brosives.
Right.
Don't go into the world and make homies.
Right.
Disciples.
I got a bit of a jiggle neck. That's a joke, Pastor.
When we have the real message of truth, we cannot let somebody say they're speaking truth when they're not.
Take an amazing journey to a place that will blow your mind and move your heart so you will never be the same again.
If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Rescue those who are being taken away to death. Hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter.
If you say, behold, we did not know this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who keeps watch over your soul know it? And will he not repay man according to his work? And of course, that's Proverbs 24, 10 through 12, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Apologia Radio. Luke DeBear hosting today. Pastor Jeff is in Georgia, which I'll talk about in a second. We got a lot going on right now with our equal protection bills. I'm very excited for the show, and I'm excited to have my longtime friend, and I'll bring him in here in a second, but I'm just going to get this out of the way before we go any further. Yes, I'm wearing an arm sling. Yes, I partially tore my bicep. No, it was not a glorious story, so I wasn't being heroic. I wasn't trying to do a new max on bench press. Nothing like that. I was trying to fix some bent metal stairs, and my bicep popped. And so getting an MRI tomorrow. Hopefully I don't need surgery, but let's just get that out of the way, because I'm sure people are going to be like, why are you wearing an arm sling? So it's not as bad as it looks. It just hurts bad. Anyways, moving on. I'm very excited, like I said, to talk about my dear friend and hero, John Barros, who has passed away 2 years ago now on February 15th, 2014. I'll go ahead and bring my friend in here. Marcus Pittman.
Hey, what is up, man? It is so good to be back. I'm so excited.
What's up, King Ginger?
How are you?
Other than my arm being torn, I'm good.
You didn't have to say you didn't do anything wrong.
I know. My wife keeps... Go ahead.
You could have said, you were just, I don't know. You could have come up with something.
I know. I got nothing. My wife's like, you need a better story than that. I'm like, I know. I'm just old.
Now I'm more curious what the real story is.
That's it, man. I was on my 45th birthday. I did that. I was like, well, I guess it's just a reminder that I'm an old man. But we're good. Yeah. So there's so much. I just want to tie the room together here, right? So like, I'm going to talk about what we're doing with an abortion now here in a second. But like, I need everyone to know, if you're new to us or if you're new to End Abortion Now, like, none of this, there's three people that are in the background, low key, there I go using my kids' terminology, responsible for us starting End Abortion Now. One of them's Marcus Pittman, the other one's Rusty Thomas, and the other one's John Barros. And a lot of this started with Marcus's film, Babies Are Murdered Here, which we'll play a clip of. He actually, and those two, John and Rusty, were both in that, and that kind of was what inspired us to get involved in abortion mill ministry. And then shortly after that, Marcus actually moved out here from Virginia and helped us start up Apologia Studios and in Abortion Now. And it's funny, Marcus, I always tell the story. Maybe you remember, it was Jeff was doing an interview with Tony Lounger from the National Right to Life about the bill in Oklahoma. And I remember you were sitting in the office, and you and I were like, we need to do something else. We need to start something else. And one of us, I don't remember if it was you or me, one of us goes, how about End Abortion Now? And I remember you said that, you like typed it in. You're like, it's available. And I'm like, buy it. And so like Jeff gets off the interview and we're like, we just started End Abortion Now. Like, I don't remember which one of us suggested it. I always say we did together because I can't remember which one of us did.
I don't even remember. I remember the Tony Lounger interview.
That's funny. Yeah.
It was one of the craziest interviews.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I think it was like a shock for us that there's people in pro-life leadership at this high level that is as delusional as that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the last time.
No, that was just the
beginning. We discovered a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. And we keep discovering. It just keeps getting worse. But so yeah, that's kind of how we got into this. And I'm going to have Marcus, he's going to tell some stories about John and stuff. But Marcus, what are you up to these days? You're up in Moscow now, and I know you just opened a cigar shop.
I'm a co-owner of a cigar lounge up here in Moscow, Idaho. I'm still running Lore TV, which is a streaming platform for indie artists to be able to raise money and stream their platforms. So it's like Netflix and Kickstarter together, but like a more punk rock MTV sort of vibe to it. And then we just brought on our CEO, Sean Tomlin, who built Fuel TV for Fox Sports,
Oh, nice.
Fox Cable Network, and he's worked with Red Bull, and he's a legend. And so, yeah, we're just raising capital there, and then I've been live streaming like a madman.
I've
So I'm on
noticed.
Kick. Yeah, I'm on Kick and YouTube. So if you letter I, letter M, King Ginger. I'm King Ginger. On YouTube and Kick. I've just been really putting the work in there and building that up because it's such a great it's such a great medium. I love it.
Yeah.
So.
How are you liking Substack? I mean, obviously, I know you and I have interacted.
Oh yeah,
bit on
I've been doing Substack's been great. But somebody told so I've been like in the mornings I've been writing Substacks and stuff. Really, because really what I've been trying to do is just the conservative worldview when it comes to art and entertainment and movies and pop culture specifically is so gone. Like there's no category for it. It's why you don't go into a Hot Topic and see Matt Walsh, What Is a Woman t-shirt, like, because all the stuff we do is documentaries. We don't understand
Sure.
pop culture and multi-generational cartoons and like none of that. And so that's really been the biggest challenge of building lore is finding one capital. Capital is the main problem.
Yeah, sure.
And then the talent is out there. They just don't have anywhere to go. So that's why we built lore. So yeah. So I started doing Substacks, and then realized that instead of doing Substacks and reaching the same, conservative Christian base, I could do live streaming and reach a much broader audience who actually cares more about pop culture.
Yeah.
Which is what a live streaming is. And so, I say I'm just a guy that sees an AI video with Power Rangers fighting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I just get super excited. So I'm a simple man, and we can debate and we can argue over pop culture and movies and stories, but if we're not building anything and investing capital into like building institutions that last for 100 years like Disney, we're just wasting our time.
Yeah.
And that's all we do, and that's what Substack is kind of for people who like to read and debate, and I wanted to get in with people that want to build. So subscribe to me on I'm King Ginger, and then one more thing. I think my wife would be mad if I didn't mention me and my wife are raising money for adoption.
Yes.
So it's relevant
Please,
to the show.
Yes, it is. Yes, please go support them there. And yeah, Substack's been fun, man. It's funny because Virgil talked me into doing it, and Knox talked Virgil into doing it, and it's been fun being on there. So you can check me out on Substack if you're on there. Just look me up. Marcus up
Substack's
there.
awesome.
I love it. It's been fun. Anyways, so real quick, I just want to mention again, Pastor Jeff's in Georgia. He was in Illinois earlier this week for our equal protection bill in Illinois. Had a press conference there. I think it was Tuesday. He's in Georgia. They're having a big rally. I think tomorrow or Saturday. Tomorrow, I think. And so he's been all over, and we've got bills popping all over. It's been. And a lot of new bills, which has been encouraging. So, and I've talked about, we've had South Dakota this year. We're working on Idaho right now. We just got dual bills in Tennessee we're working on in the House and Senate. And so a lot going on. We're super grateful for that. But again, none of that would ever be would be happening if it wasn't for the man we're going to talk about today. So I'm just going to, Marcus, I'm going to play the first clip from Babies and Murdered here. The first part where you just kind of introduced John to the thing. So this would have been our introduction to John Barros. So I'm just going to play it just a couple minutes here. Gabe, you got that? Oh, sorry, my volume's down.
The Bible tells us that God hates the shedding of innocent blood. It tells us to be not deceived, that God is not mocked, that whatever we sow, we're going to reap. And that's my fear for you today. We can help you. My pastor, Jim Fitzgerald, took me down to there almost 9 years ago to the Orlando Women's Center, and then ended up 2.5 years ago just sitting on the wall there because I really felt a call to be there constantly. I asked God if that's what He wanted me to do, for Him to take care of my family and supply, and He's been faithful. For 28 months now, we've been, at the end of every month, the bills are paid. So He is faithful. He's called me to that place, and that's that. I don't know what else to say. He's just been truly faithful.
In Leviticus chapter 20.
Okay, Marcus. So tell us about meeting John.
I haven't seen that in a long time, by the way. So, I think it was Patty Smith that told me I needed to meet John. So I did street preaching with Scott and Patty and a bunch of people, and then we were in. I want to say I was in Georgia at the time. Pretty sure I was in Georgia at the time, and they were like, "You got to meet John Barros. Like, if you're going to interview filmmaker, abortion clinic workers, you need to go interview John." And I didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And he said, he said I could come. I think I called him on the phone. I was like, "Hey, I'm doing a film. I do street evangelism. I'm making a film on abortion clinic workers." And he was like, "Well, you can come." Yeah, you know. And so I think because remember when we made Babies Are Murdered Here, I think I only raised like $5,000 total on the film. So I like, and like every penny I used just on transportation to go. And when we did the film, I should give some background on how the film got made, because that's kind of important. So John Speed invited me up to do a 3-minute promo video on his church, but he made the mistake of getting the ticket to return on 8 a.m. Sunday instead of 8 p.m. on Sunday. So I couldn't go to church. And so I was like, "Well, what's the point of being here?" And he's like, "Well, I'm going to the abortion clinic on Saturday. Why don't you just film the work we do at the abortion clinic?" So Robert Gray went to the dollar store and made this sign that said "Babies Are Murdered Here," which is on the I don't know if you guys got a shot of it.
It's behind me to my right.
Yeah, it's that's the original sign that Robert Gray made, and I made a trailer from that moment, just from the time we were with John, and it blew up and went viral. And then all of a sudden, all these street preachers were going to abortion clinic, making their own "Babies Are Murdered Here" sign, and I realized that was the film. That was the film that was. It was the film was about the "Babies Are Murdered Here" sign, and then through that we learned that you can't say murder. Like, we had no idea.
Right.
We're just like, yeah, it's murder. And then it just caused all this controversy among the pro-life establishment. You can't use the word murder. Now they use it all the time, but they didn't until this movie came out. And then, so I was traveling the country. I didn't have much money left. So I got a Greyhound ticket from Atlanta to Orlando, and I rode the Greyhound bus, and I think John picked me up. And then I stayed at his house, and he didn't know who I was, but let me into his house, and I stayed at his house, and I just got to meet him, and I was like, this is the most real dude I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He wasn't this, I want to say, how do you say, like this? He wasn't this gospel coalition style political sort of face sort of guy.
Right.
It was just like here he is, like, smoking a Toro Fuentes, and while he's out there on the cigar lounge smoking cigars, I'm like, dude, this is my dude. And he didn't want me to put any of the smoking on the.
Oh, that's funny.
In the documentary, I didn't. But since then we became really good friends. And actually, if I'll see if my wife can bring it to me. I was gonna have it, but he gave me a Padron 45-year cigar that he bought, and he got me two. I smoked one with him, and then the second one I never smoked. I kept it in my humidor, and then found out that he did have cancer, and I saved it until the day he died, and then I smoked it.
Oh,
and,
wow.
I still have the label from that.
Oh,
wow. So I'll see if my wife can grab it. I'll show it. But
yeah. So I got a little treat for Marcus here. So we did an interview with John in August of 23. So this was the last time I saw him. We went out and made sure we knew he had cancer for like the 100th time. This guy just kept beating cancer. And I need to mention too, like John was so faithful. What year did you make Babies Are Murdered Here?
I think we released it in 2013, 2012. I feel like
okay.
That's it.
Yeah. So John was out at the mill some days, 7 days a week, like never missed a day for all those years until I think he started going in 2008, if I remember correctly. But it was a lot of years, and then he obviously passed away 2 years ago. But we went out and saw John. We knew he was not doing well and was going through chemo, and knew we needed to see him while he was still with us. And so we were able to sit down, and we got it's like an hour and 15 minutes of interview we got with him. But we haven't released any of it yet. We're gonna do something special with it at some point. But I have a little clip I'm gonna play for Marcus here. We asked him about when you came and saw him. And so I don't know if this is funny. It's funny. Yeah.
I've never heard this, right?
No one's seen this. I actually just saw this today for the first time. I was rolling through it. So, I mean, I was there, but yeah, I hadn't seen the footage till today.
So years ago, Marcus came out.
Yeah.
And you were doing your normal thing at the Orlando Women's Center. He set up a little camera. Did you know Marcus very well then?
I didn't know him at all.
He just showed up.
Just showed up. Thought it was another nut. I didn't mean that, Marcus.
You had that right. So this guy with the camera shows up. You don't know what's really going on.
No.
He's filming what you're doing. And that got put into the film, Babies Are Murdered Here.
Yeah.
And so for us at Apologia, this very young, new church plant filled with a lot of brand new baby believers, very zealous, passionate. God used, really there was two parts of that film that really wrecked us as a church. It was Rusty Thomas preaching, convicted us deeply, but it was also what Marcus filmed of you, that a day or a period of days when he filmed you doing that challenged our church because it put flesh on it. Rusty saying, here's what God's word says, and it was very convicting. And then you were the flesh put on the story. It was, and now look, here's somebody that's not a superstar.
No.
You're not a John MacArthur, R.C. Sproul, George Whitfield, Jonathan Edwards. You're just someone who loves Jesus that's been faithful and went out there. And you were God was using you to save babies. So that's what God used in us.
That's beautiful. I'm so thankful.
And it's funny because you didn't have this big plot or plan.
I didn't plan to do that at all.
Sorry.
Showed up. Yeah.
Did you even ask your permission?
I don't know. I don't think he does that much.
It's Marcus.
It's true.
But what's interesting about it is that nobody had a big plotting, scheming, grand idea to turn that into what God's done that's led to, like just in us, we're not the whole only thing, just in our experience, almost 1,000 churches we've been able to train.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thousands upon thousands of babies, the legislation that we ourselves have been able to be involved in and to write, but it is interesting because it's like that car that breaks down.
Yeah.
You don't plan that.
No.
It's just God orders the universe, right? But I think that's kind of what I love so much about what's happened is that, you've got major organizations that have professionals that plan and market and try to create a vision and a narrative and they build and build and build, and millions of dollars go into it, and sometimes they don't affect really much of anything significantly for Christ and the glory of Christ. But here you're just doing your thing, and Marcus shows up, and then God uses that to challenge us and moves that into other churches.
Yeah, it's been an amazing road. Again, none of it planned. I'm not a marketer. I'm not I don't know how to do anything other than get in my truck and drive down to the abortion clinic and talk to people. I remember RC told me, he said, John, you just stay on your 50 feet of sidewalk. And he said, and God will bring the world to you. And I thought he was
right.
He was right, but I didn't think so. I didn't think he was going to be, who in the world's going to, but it is so strange. I mean, I've got people, especially now that I've got sick, I'm getting emails from people from Ireland and England and all these different places thanking me that they've followed, different things, and they've learned how to do different things and all of that. But it's truly been like an international kind of a thing that I haven't had to go anywhere. The only places I've ever gone is to your conferences that you have, and man, I go there, I'm just like a spoiled little kid with all the awesome people that do what we do. I mean, the people that do what we do are so special. They really are. It's so incredible. I wouldn't have traded this for the world. I would have gave up being the president of the United States, anything, to just do what God called me to do.
All from 50 feet of sidewalk.
Yeah.
All right, we'll stop right there. I thought you'd appreciate that, Marcus.
That's fantastic.
It's like a little message to you from beyond the grave.
Yeah, it's great, man. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I had no idea who he was. I didn't know anything about him, but I didn't know anything when I was making that movie. That's why I'm so passionate about independent filmmakers. It's like you don't need $100 million budget.
Sure. Right.
It's crazy. You just don't need it. You just need skill and talent.
Yeah.
And you gotta just be flexible to let the story kind of take place on it. Especially with documentary. You just like a documentary was like there was no story until I began editing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Yeah, that has been cool to kind of learn as you were here for a while, and I think you got that from Darren Doan, is just let the story tell itself. But
yeah, that's right.
But awesome, man. Well, let's go to a quick break and hear from Ion Layer, one of our big sponsors, and then we come back. We'll pick the conversation back up.
This episode is brought to you by Ion Layer at ionlayer.com. Go and check out the health benefits, the wellness benefits, and longevity benefits of NAD treatments. NAD is nicknamed the fountain of youth for a reason. You have an abundance of this in your system when you're young. As you get older, it drops off, and now we've found a way to get NAD into our systems. They do it through IV treatments, but they're very expensive, and it's also extremely painful and difficult. However, Ion Layer found a way to get a high dose of NAD into your system through a medical patch you wear on your arm. You wear it for about 14 hours. You get a high dose of NAD treatment into your system and no pain at all. And it is a fraction of the cost of what you would pay for an IV treatment. In the coupon code, type in Apologia in all caps. They're going to hook you up with a great discount for an already amazingly cost-effective product. And they bless Apologia Studios and help us to stay on the air and do all these programs with you. Don't forget also, Ion Layer has added a glutathione patch as well. Glutathione, the master antioxidant. Go check out the health benefits of glutathione. I'm doing this stuff anyways. It's blessed my life in tremendous ways. And so if you want to focus on your health, wellness, and longevity, nothing better in my mind than ionlayer.com for your NAD and glutathione treatments. ionlayer.com. Don't forget to put Apologia in all caps in the coupon code.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm just going to continue the conversation here. So, just a couple things there. He was Marcus is remembering. He mentioned RC. He went to St. Andrew's Chapel in Florida, and RC Sproul was his pastor, and a good friend of his. And RC used to come and sit on the wall with him with his oxygen tank and help preach the gospel and save babies. And man, I miss that guy all the time. He was just the sweetest man, and he like I said, he went through cancer so many times. And I remember one time he called me just to chat, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I found out I got a brain aneurysm. I'm probably just gonna drop dead at the mill someday. And I'm like, he just kept going, like fully expecting to just drop dead at the mill one day from brain aneurysm.
Yeah, he always told me he was at the end. So,
Yeah.
like first time I met him.
But he's the type of guy, he'd have that, and then you'd be like, well, let's, you'd like try to encourage him, and he's here trying to encourage you, and just I miss those calls and in his voice, so it's good to see stuff like this and just think about him. And but who knows? Only the Lord knows. Well, he probably knows now, but how many babies that man saved is in the thousands.
Yeah,
it's the amount of just to be there every day for that long, and the amount of people.
There was a baby saved when I was I don't know if it was when I don't think it was when I was there, but there was a baby saved. A baby that he saved came to visit when I filmed, and that's in the movie.
Yep,
It's great. Like that wasn't planned.
Oh wow, wow!
Yeah, none of that was planned. Like these people just show up on with a stroller and a baby in it, and John's like, "Oh, you got to come and like interview these people." And like, yeah, it was like they just showed up that day, just when I was out there, and I remember, they were walking away, and I said, I found the end of the film, John.
Dude, that's funny. I didn't know it, because like I was flipping through there again today watching that, and I had no idea that. I thought that maybe he had him come or something, so that's funny.
No,
that they just
it just showed up, yeah.
And that would happen to him all the time. And I actually have a clip of we have a bunch of stories from him that we've been able to film over the years, but here, I'll go ahead. That's a perfect transition to this. I have my favorite story from him. It's like a real life gift of tongue story. I think Marcus knows the story, but this is my favorite story from John. I'm going to go ahead and play it right now because it'll be perfect timing for it. Here you go, Gabe.
Yeah, a few months ago, I was out preaching, and I don't like to stop preaching once I get started. And we always have people behind us on the road that are, as I'm sure everybody that does this kind of ministry has, they all run by and roll their windows down and have such pleasantries for you to help you on your day. But somebody was behind me as I was preaching, and they were, I couldn't understand a word they were saying, and they were getting very loud and everything. And my dear friend Yoli said, John, you need to come talk to this guy. I said, Yoli, not now. I don't have time. I said, she goes, no, really? So I said, okay. So I turn around and I look out, and here's this gentleman sitting in his car, and he's driving a transportation car that delivers patients to doctors. So he's got this patient in the back of his car, but he's stopped there literally crying his eyes out. So I go over there to talk to him. I say, are you okay? What's going on? And he's going on and on and on in Spanish, and Yoli's translating, and he's saying, thank you for preaching. We were here almost a year ago, and we heard your preaching, and we were sitting in that room, and we got in our cars and we left, and we just want to thank you. And then the poor passenger, he was happy for the driver, but he just went ahead and got out of the car and walked to his appointment. And then the guy gets his wife on the phone on FaceTime, And so I'm looking at his wife, beautiful wife, on his phone, on FaceTime, with a little baby. She's bawling her eyes out, crying and crying, talking in Spanish, bouncing her baby around, and I'm just going, wow, this is pretty cool. And when they were done, and they said thank you, I said, well, hey, why don't you come to St. Andrews and we'll go after church, we'll go get some lunch or something, and have a talk, just have a great afternoon. Oh yeah, we'll do that. And I said, well, that's great, that's wonderful. And I think I had a time of prayer for him, and then I said, well, I got to go back, I got to finish preaching here. There's a bunch more people in here that were just like you were on the day you were here, and so he said, okay, thank you, and I turned around to walk away, and then something hit me, like what? And I couldn't figure it out, and it was like, what am I missing? But I felt like I was missing something. People watching this probably already figured it out. You're a lot smarter than me. But I didn't get it, and I got back over to where I preach, and then it hit me. I said, Yoli, stop that car. And she goes, why? I said, stop that car. And she yelled for him, and he stopped. And we went walking over there, and I said, I think his name's Alejandro. I said, Alejandro, I have to ask you a question. How in the world did you understand the preaching? Because I don't preach in Spanish. And he said, I heard every word that you preached in my own language. And I'll never forget that. I could not believe that. And again, it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen to everybody. So you don't have to, it's not all about you. You just have to be willing to go. And God makes up for the deficits. God makes up for the things. I can't tell you how many people that don't speak a language that God pulls out of that place. I don't know, it's just beautiful how He is the one that does all the things down. Anything good down there is from Him. It's certainly not from me or anyone else on that sidewalk. We don't have that kind of power, and never will.
Oh, I love that story so much.
I was just telling that story to somebody the other day. They were asking me about tongues.
Oh, really?
I just recounted that story as the example of what tongues is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Here, I have a real life example. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Man, John just had story after story after story like that, where it's just unbelievable. I mean, there's so many more I could play today. We just don't have time. But that guy, he's still there. There's a piece of sidewalk in front of Orlando Women's Center that's worn down from him for being there all those years, and he was on crutches there at the end for a while, and it's literally just worn out where he would stand and preach. And I still want that chunk of concrete.
I know. I know.
We started that process. I went down that road, and it started to get real. There's a lot of like red tape and a pain in the rear end stuff to do. I think we can do it, but you literally have to like go through the city. You have to get a permit to have it replaced. Like, it was just like a nightmare. And Zach Morgan and I were there when we went to his funeral, and we had some time to kill. We actually went down to the city hall and talked to some people, and we're like, how do we get this? You know, I'm like explaining to them, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's a pain. So I still want it. It's still a goal of mine to have that piece of concrete, but
worth it.
It's worth every dime. Yeah, for sure. But well, here I got, how much time we got in the segment? Oh, we got time. Okay. Marcus just sent me a clip. He wanted me to play, so I'm going to pull this up here. Is this, so bring me into this clip here.
Yeah, I think so. This was I went to go film him. I don't know if this was from filming Babies Are Murdered Here or not, or it might have been, but this was 2 years after. And this is him explaining to me the story of how the elders at New St. Andrews commissioned him into pro-life work, and it's R.C. Sproul plays a big part of it. It's incredible.
Yes, this is a good story. We actually, in the interview I have with him, he told this story again, but we'll go ahead and play this. This is perfect.
We should love the church. I mean, that's the place that God has designed for us to be fed and cared for, comforted and taught, just like a mother raising a child. I remember last time I saw you, I had just gone to see the elders at St. Andrews, and they had wanted me to put what my ministry was on one sheet of paper, and I couldn't because there's way too much going on here to be able to put on one sheet of paper. So I put 9 pictures on a sheet of paper, and I passed them out when I went in front of the elders at St. Andrews, and they asked, "What is this?" And I said, well, I couldn't write it on paper, so I thought maybe you would point to a picture and I could tell you that story of what God did in there. They went through it, and we did a few of them, and I knew I was bearing in on their time because they were very busy there, and I said, I realize you guys are busy, and I'll leave now and let you get about your business. And R.C. Sproul said, John, I want to hear all of them. So I went through all the pictures with them, and they were blown away. And not blown away at me, because I've never talked anybody out of an abortion, but blown away at what God does down here at the very gates of hell. Ever since then, St. Andrew's Chapel has been just 100% behind the ministry here. The girls that choose life, they bring them in. The ladies in the church just surround them with love. Our church now has a midweek Bible study that some of the ladies do down here at Panera Bread. Like I said before, there's women that mentor them. They have baby showers for them. They take care of all their needs, both physical and spiritual. And some have become members of St. Andrew's now, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. When you have a church that is behind you, that when I stand here on that sidewalk and I say, we can help you and we will help you, that it's not just me saying that it's literally hundreds of people at my church that stand there with me and back that promise up. There is a much bigger conviction, a much bigger confidence when you stand here and you know that your church is behind you. R.C. Sproul was teaching one Sunday morning on the disciples going out when he sent them out, and that they went out in the power and authority of him, and that me, through the church, also stands here in the power and authority of Jesus Christ. St. Andrews, they're all behind us. They're all supportive. They're all encouraging people to go out. They equip us on Sunday morning at all the Bible studies to have weapons to be able to go out and fight this fight. And I would encourage every pastor to equip the people in your church that they might go out and do this same thing and see just what God will do. It's just absolutely amazing what He will do if we just trust Him.
Was that the actual sheet of paper, Marcus, or did you do that for the film?
Nah, I made that in After Effects, man. It's not the actual sheet of paper.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't think he had that. I faked it. No, I think too, like later on, New St. Andrews actually bought him like a cargo van because he had so many women coming to the church on Sundays. He couldn't pick them all up at once. And so, I just love that clip of him explaining his time with R.C. Sproul. They were good friends, actually.
They were.
Him and R.C.
Yeah.
And so, they didn't have just a pastoral relationship. They were actually really close. R.C.'s come out on that sidewalk a few times, and they had a really strong friendship and relationship.
Yeah,
so I never got to witness that, though. I would have loved to.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see those two hang out at the clinic.
That he's good friend, or was good friends with John Frame too. He actually he was in John Frame's small group. I
went there the first time I went to John Barros' house. He's like, I gotta go to Bible study, and do you want to come to Bible study with me? I was like, yeah, I'll come to Bible study with you. And I was like, the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, that guy looks so familiar. Why is that guy so familiar? And then I realized it was John Frame.
That's funny.
And I was in John Frame's house. That was just where he did his Bible study.
That's
yeah,
funny.
it was crazy.
I met John Frame at John's funeral. He was out and sitting on a bench outside the church talking to some guy, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's John Frame!" And I went up and introduced myself.
Oh, that's awesome.
Super gracious guy. You know what's funny? I'll tell you that when we went and visited him that last time, we ended up going to get a tour of the church and the college and all that. And Vesta was there, and they introduced us to her, and then we told her who we were, and she was like, "Oh yeah, John talks so highly about you guys." And she was the sweetest. She took us in, took us in RC's office, and was telling us some stories and stuff. It was cool. Anyways, I don't know if you knew this. It's not. This is no longer a thing. But for a while, at least for a year after John passed, you could do the Google Earth, or like on your iPhone, if you put in the Apple Maps, you could do the street view of Orlando Women's Center, and John was still there preaching. For a while. And I just recently looked, just a few weeks ago, I looked and it's updated and he's no longer there. But for a while, it was the coolest thing. You put in, you look at the street view and there's John preaching still. Like,
oh man,
it was cool, man.
You can go back in time. You can go back. Hold on.
Can you?
Yeah. Orlando Women's Center.
It was like, it was just like a ghost of John standing there preaching to those women. Oh man, what a faithful man. And he was just, I called him Uncle Johnny. He was like an uncle, and just he'd give you the shirt off his back, and like I said, he'd call on you just to check on you, and even though he was dying and going through cancer, and let's let's go. That's a good place to take a break. So we'll go to our next sponsor, and then when we come back, I will. I have another
February 2020. If you go back on Google Maps, you can see it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's so cool. February 2020. All right. We'll go to the next break, and then, like I said, when we come back, I got some more clips to play, and we'll close out the show from there. So, Gabe, you want to go ahead and play that next sponsor? This video is brought to you by Amtech Blades. We are very excited to be partnering with Amtech. Bill Rapier, longtime Navy SEAL, DevGuru operator, amazing brother and friend. Looking for a battle axe to carry on your person, to chop some wood? They've got you covered. Looking for a blade to carry on you every day? Also got you covered. Look at this. I got to check my mail. What do we got going on here? Oh, look how sharp that is. What is this? Oh, 5% off. You can go to amtechblades.com, put Apologia in the coupon code, get 5% off your order, and he will match that and give 5% to End Abortion Now. Again, amtechblades.com. We're grateful for them. Check them out. Welcome back, everybody. So thankful for y'all joining us today to remember our good friend John. So I'm going to bring us into this other clip here. This again was from the interview we got with him before he passed. So I got just a little background. We went, like I said, we went and saw him, and at this point he was going through chemo and was losing a lot of weight, wasn't really eating much, and so we joked because we took him out to eat about 3 times in 2 days, 4 days. We're like, we're helping him eat, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not hungry," when he was eating, and I think he gained some weight back that time with us. But so this clip here, well, let me say this. We went out to the mill one day. We were actually visiting him twice while we were there, but we went out to the mill and joined him one day. And I'll tell you, he calls those people down there the carnies. They are some of the most vile, evil women you have ever encountered in your entire life. And I don't know, Marcus, when you filmed him, they weren't really there then, were they?
No.
Yeah,
No.
so they came later.
I think They might be in Babies Are Still Murdered Here.
Yes, I think you're right. I think they are in that.
Yeah. So
you did encounter them though later.
I did encounter them later, but
Just-
they had the rainbow umbrellas,
Yeah.
and like they're they were they were playing audio of how you die when you have cancer and stuff while he was out there. It was disgusting. But they're just gross.
Yeah, they were playing like cancer songs. I don't even know how that. I've never even heard a cancer song, but yeah, just just awful. I mean, just disgusting. Like they have a whole coalition, and stuff. And the weird thing about those ladies is they as awful as they were to John, they had a weird love for him. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, it was like the day we went. Funny enough, his cancer doctor was literally next door, and so we got there before them, and they were freaking out. Where's John at? Where's John at? They thought he had died because he wasn't there, and they were like starting to panic because they thought he had died. And we're like, he's just at an appointment. And then half an hour later, he comes walking over, and it was just strange. But we left that day because there was a point where I had to have some like legit Holy Spirit restraint. And here this guy dealt with that for years. Every day, and I'm there for an hour, and I was like, and we walked away, and I was with Jeff and Zach, and I said, now I understand Peter cutting off that dude's ear. Like I get it.
Right.
I got it. Cause I literally was like, if they would have laid hands on John, I would have gone to jail that day. Like, I mean, they did everything but lay hands on John. Like they're just something else. But here's what's crazy. So, I think it's either that same day or the next day, we went to lunch with John, and it was his favorite barbecue place, and we're just eating and asking him questions, and Jeff asks him, so like, what are you most looking forward to in heaven? And his answer was just astonishing, and so we asked him again in this interview. It's like at the very end of the interview, we asked him, and it actually ends with this. So I'm going to play this real quick again. So in case you can't hear the question being repeated, is we all know you're not going to be around much longer. What are you most looking forward to? So here, I'll play this.
I know Jeff asked you yesterday, but what are you most excited about?
Oh, about heaven? Yeah, I just don't want to sin anymore. That's the biggest. I hate my sin. I hate how easily my heart can turn, and to not have that problem anymore has to be the most uplifting thing there could be, other than actually seeing Jesus face to face. I mean, in paradise. But my goodness, I long for it, actually. Yeah. I just don't want to sin anymore.
Those are the last words you got from John.
That's amazing, man. Because he was such a real, authentic guy. I remember, I think the first time I went out to go film him, and for the most part, you see. Or like your thoughts of abortion clinics. If you haven't been out there, like you think the people out there are either crazy or weird, or they're just standing there praying and not doing anything. And so when I went out there, I know there was this guy that was at the door, and he was like escorting this woman in to murder her child. And he said to the guy, "You don't got two balls between you." I've never heard that sort of raw authenticity at an abortion clinic before.
Oh my goodness!
And I was laughing so hard, and I asked him about it. I said, how did you why that was kind of like an aggressive sort of way, and I haven't seen it before. And he goes, he goes, I talk to men like that all the time out here, and he says some of the times they'll come out and they'll give me a hug and say, nobody ever spoke to me like a man before. And then they'll go in there and protect they'll go and grab their child and take them out of there. And I was like, man, and like that really kind of like opened my eyes to like, we think abortion clinic ministry is a thing women do,
Sure.
but you really need a man out there. And he was like really good at like, he would tell me, he's like, this is my abortion clinic. He's like, I don't mind other people being here, but they all follow my rules. And he took leadership of that place.
Yeah.
And he had a rule that women were not allowed to talk to men when they were doing the evangelism. That was his job, was to address the men. And they were only to address the women. And like, he made sure that the women out there followed his rules or they would be banned. Like he told me about women who just he would call the elders and the elders would make sure they don't come out there anymore. I mean, he took control of that place and it just made me really realize, man, it's so important to have like male leadership outside of the abortion clinics like that.
Right.
I've never seen that happen before.
Man, that's cool. Yeah, he it's just I mean, I knew the man for a lot of years, and obviously he wasn't perfect, but I never heard that man sin. I never saw that man sin. Like, like that's the honest truth. And,
yeah.
And for the amount of abuse he took, and you'd think someone like him, his answer to that question would be, well, there'll be no more abortion.
Yeah.
Or I'll be in heaven with Jesus. It's like, no, I don't want to sin anymore. It's just like, who says that? Like,
But by the way, here's a cigar label I got.
Oh, nice. That picture's from the interview. That picture you have is from this interview we did with him. So.
Oh yeah, is that right?
Yep.
But that's the last
That's
cigar
awesome.
of his he bought me. I kind of kept it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's just like, I came away from that just so convicted. Because here I spent 1 hour at the mill with him, and I definitely at least sinned in my heart.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, how does someone endure that and not be? I'm sure there was times where he was sinful, but man, just what an amazing man. And that story, I love that story so much. Here I got one more clip here. This will be a perfect one to end it on. So it's actually shortly before. Oh, you know what? Before I play this, talk about, because I was going to play the clip, but I don't have time. In Babies Are Murdered here, you were there actually where he about got assaulted by a man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So talk about that, because you saw that. I mean, that guy was, it's funny because I haven't watched the film in a lot of years, and I was watching it again this morning, and I was like, oh man, is he going to hit him? Like,
Yeah, that happened every time I was out there.
Yeah.
There was always some guy that would. I remember him making fun of a guy who was saying that he was in the military and you're not a real man because you never served in the military or whatever, and he said, well, you're not a real man because you're gonna kill a child.
oh my goodness.
And that guy got so mad. There was, I mean, like he was constantly, I think God gave him a lot of protection out there too, because
Sure.
there were some vile people that he had to deal with. There was one other thing I wanted to mention really quick, which was, it left my head. But yeah, so just,
You'll remember, I'm sure.
Yeah, so many great stories. But
Yeah, I mean, he even had like the police. He talked about that in that last interview we got with him. There was a police officer assigned to just that clinic that would just sit out there, and so he said he'd have cops that would like volunteer for that because they hated him so much and what he's doing. He's telling stories about the cops coming out there and harassing him, and and even that day we were out there was a cop sitting out there and just giving us a hard time about something. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, goodness gracious, just the evilness of that. But okay, so if you remember what you're gonna say, just let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
So this other clip I'm gonna play here, we asked him, what do you want to be remembered for, or how do you want to be remembered? And hopefully I have this queued up in the right place here because I was doing it on the fly.
It's really a struggle
it might be.
If I can't be there for some, it's a struggle. It's like it's such.
Okay, hold on. So actually, I'm glad I played this here. The question here was Pastor Zach asked him like, he's like, I bet there's days you didn't want to go to the mill, and his answer was like, no, actually, it was harder for me not to go to the mill when there was days that I knew I wasn't going to be there. Like I hated it because I knew I needed to be there. There's babies that need to be saved. I'm like, again, like who is this man? Because that wouldn't be me. Anyways, and I think the question I was going to play is right after this.
Just struggle. Like Friday, I'm not going to be there. I have to get chemo, and it's such a struggle. It's such. I mean, I can't tell you.
And the struggle is because babies are going to die.
Yeah. And it's then that I have to think to myself also that it's not you, John. I mean, God can do what he's going to do.
There it is.
How do you think you want to be remembered?
Huh. I don't know. Well, just as being a storyteller for God. That's all. I mean, there's no good thing in me. But every kind of goodness there is in him. And that's what we get to see. That's why there's no ministry like this.
So I wanted to play that because I figured the best way to honor him would be to tell stories, and he wanted to be remembered as a storyteller, and boy was he good at telling stories. We'd have him come out to End Abortion Now conferences, like he was saying, and we'd have guys speaking, or speakers lined up to give powerful talks, encourage people to go out and do this work and challenge everyone, and then John would just come and tell stories, and everyone was just glued to every word, just to hear the stories he had to tell. And so that's the best way I feel like I can honor the man, is to tell his story and encourage people to keep doing the hard work and honor him in that way.
Yeah. The one last thing I remembered what I wanted to say is you were talking about how the abortion clinic workers actually had a love for him. That they did, but there was a time where he was actually invited to have Thanksgiving dinner in the back of the abortion clinic by the abortion doctor.
Oh, it's so weird.
So the abortion doctor, it was the day before Thanksgiving. The abortion doctor says, "Hey, we're going to have a staff Thanksgiving dinner. Do you want to come and eat with us?" And he was like, "Did you poison it? Like, why would I do this?" But he went, and he got to go they invited him into the abortion clinic, and he had dinner with the nursing staff and everybody. And that's when he told me that they had like angel wings above the abortion table. And they would tell people that, it had some weird Bible verse above the abortion table.
Oh, really?
That would tell people, your baby's in heaven now, or something like that. Like, but yeah, so he actually got to go in there. They invited him in there. It was a weird thing. It was like he was just part of the culture of that clinic so much that even though it was kind of like a love to hate sort of thing, more than it was like it was kind of like the nastiness that they had was them just doing their job, but like deep inside they really cared for him. It's crazy. I never seen anything like it before.
That is crazy. I know the guys that still go, they tried to put a bronze statue of him on that wall as a memorial.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work out. I forget why it didn't work out, but they tried. But yeah, I mean, Marcus, you're a storyteller. You're good at telling stories, and you told his story, and we heard it, and now there's countless stories being told, and will be told, for who knows how long, about babies being saved because of that, and so this man's a hero.
That's awesome. Me and my wife specifically pray that we get to adopt a baby rescued from the
that'd be amazing.
clinic. Like that's our top. We'll take any baby, but that's kind of wouldn't it be awesome if we could adopt a baby from Orlando's Women's Center? So he's still on our mind, and it's great to be able to share stories of him.
Yeah. Yeah, man, he just had his voice is just so calming, like just watching these, I have an audio recording of the last time I FaceTimed him before he died, which was a week or two before he could still talk. And, I have the audio recording of that every once in a while. I just want to hear his voice. I'll go and play that just to hear him. But yeah, well, any closing thoughts, memories you want to share, Marcus?
Yeah, I remember when I heard he died. Me and my wife were in Walmart, and I got the Facebook message. Just started crying in Walmart.
Yeah.
It was very few people affected me that much with their passing. My grandma was one of them, but so I remember just being really upset about that. It was pretty tremendous. The other thing too, I remember how he shifted. Like, he would be the kindest, most gentle person, and then he would turn it on in a minute and just be insanely aggressive in the right ways. But just like his tone would change. Like, as they get closer to that abortion clinic, his tone would ramp up. At first it'd be very kind, let me help you. Then it's just pure, like, do not go in. I mean, it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Dude, we were recording when I got the text from his wife. There's a show 2 years ago we were doing, and we knew it was any minute. And it's funny because I thought for sure he was going to pass on my birthday, which was the 13th. He passed on the 15th, and I was like, it's gonna be my birthday for sure because that's also R.C. Sproul's birthday.
Okay.
And I thought for sure, I'm like, it's gonna be like he'll go on RC's birthday, guaranteed, and then he did. But so we knew it was coming, and we were recording, and I got the text, and I was just like, he's gone, and Jeff's like, what? And like in the middle of the show, and we just like sat there for like 5 minutes, just silent. I miss that man. Rebecca told me, if Rebecca, I'm sure you'll see this. We love you. Hopefully you don't mind me telling the story. She called me. We had like just got done recording. She called me like a half an hour later, and she's like, I gotta tell you this crazy thing. And I'm like, she said that like they were in the hospice room and it was all dark and quiet, and like all of a sudden like this above him, this beam, it just like a beam of light came and like settled on him, and then like he stopped breathing and it was gone.
Wow.
And
I believe it.
I do too. And she called me. I love you, Rebecca. She called me. She's like, I haven't even called my elder yet. I'm calling you. I was like, wait, what? And she's like just freaking out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. And she's like, she's like, there was another lady with her. There was a Christian. She saw it. She asked the nurse that was there, did you see that? And the nurse was like, yeah, actually, I see that quite often. And then that lady was a Christian, but there was family members in there that weren't Christians, I guess, and they didn't see it. Crazy, just crazy, man.
I believe it, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully Mike Winger doesn't call me out, but I believe it.
That's hilarious. Oh man. All right. Well, hey, can you stick around for an after show? You got time?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just do like a quick 15-minute after show. We can just, I might play some more clips or tell more stories, but anyways, we'll just go ahead and end there. So grateful for everyone, all accessors and your support, and again for everyone that supports End Abortion Now and the work you're supporting for these bills and for saving these babies. Again, John's partially responsible for that, and we're grateful for him and his life and ministry. And of course, I want to mention Dominion Wealth. We saw the ad at the beginning. You can go to reform.money to check them out, and they're fantastic dudes, and grateful for their partnership. And you can go to shop.apologiastudios.com to get into these tracks. I mean, we got the abortion tracks in English and Spanish, and you get some coffee, some swag, and support us there. And then, of course, speaking of our equal protection bills, Bradley Pierce, who writes all of our bills, who Marcus also knows, great dude, and he also runs Heritage Defense. You can go to heritagedefense.org if you homeschool your children. Sign up with them. It's super affordable. Put Apology in the coupon code to get your first month free, and they're there 24/7. If you have a 3-letter agency show up at your door, you just call the hotline number and hand them your phone, and they'll make sure you're protected for any of that hot garbage. So on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap up the show, and we'll be back next week. And if you're an All Access subscriber, please stick around for the after show, and we'll chop it up some more with Marcus. Hey, dude, it's good to have you on, man. It's been a minute. And
yeah. Thanks for having me on, and maybe I can come back and talk about some more happy stuff.
Yeah, Marcus basically lived here at the studio for like 5 years.
I did. Yeah,
literally, you'd sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
So there's probably still ginger beard hair somewhere around here on the couch
sure there is,
cushion, but yeah, man, it's good. I know the last few times you've been around, like we haven't been able to catch up. So, anyways, thanks for being on, dude, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you.